So it doesn't matter if I'm there or not, right?
You were just afraid they'd abandon you. So you abandoned them. You distanced yourself from the whole thing.
Yo. Mic check. Yo. All right, I think I'm good now. All right, Shalawam Akim out there. First and foremost, before I start, I want to give all praises. Damn, Slacks will not come in. All right, Shalawam Akim out there. First and foremost, before I start, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, that's the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahweh Shai, that's the name of his beloved Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Double honor to the apostles of great millstone, and peace and mercy to the elect by Shem Harakak with Asher, name and the Holy Spirit. All right, as you know, I did a part 1 to a complete review, Revelation 13th chapter, and basically this is gonna be a part 2 to the same lesson. You know, I'm gonna continue to. I only got to about, I believe I only got to like verse 3 in the first one, because I went through a large amount of information just on 2 verses alone, you know, and it was roughly about an hour. So this time I'm finna continue on, bring up more information so that brethren could understand history a little better when it comes to this beast, how it was created and how it fell into prophecy. NATO and the EU being the new beast, the new beast. All right. And America being that woman on top of the dragon. So let's get into this lesson right here, and I'm just gonna be breaking it down. All right, so jump into Revelation chapter 13 verse 3 says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. And well, you know what, let me see, let me start at 1, and I'm gonna just give a quick summary, then get to verse 3. I'm gonna start going into the history and everything. So Revelation 13:1, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. All right, which represents NATO and the EU, Esau's power structure that he have now set up on this planet Earth. All right, this picture is a good picture of it right here. All right, so continue. It says, and the beast which I saw was likened unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. The leopard represents the beginning of Esau's rulership, starting with the Greeks. Okay, and then the feet of the bear represents the end of Esau's rulership, being destroyed by the Russians. In the mouth, in the mouth as the mouth of a lion represents Great Britain. And the dragon gave him power and his seat of authority. and the dragon represents the Roman Empire, which now the modern day Roman Empire, NATO and the EU, they're doing everything of the Romans. All right, so verse 3 says, and I saw one of his heads as it was wounded unto death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Now, when it said, I saw his head as if it was wounded unto death, was representing when the Roman Empire basically fell during the time when you started having black emperors, or so-called what they would call Negro emperors, starting to enter into the Roman Caesars, or the emperors. All right, and that's what started to make the Roman Empire decline from that very point. And I got some information and some history on this. And then it says, and his deadly wound was healed. And then the deadly wound being healed represent Esau coming back, because when Esau was wounded, he went into the caves. That's when he got pushed into the caves. All right, which the Caucasus Mountains. And then he was healed when he came out of the caves during the Renaissance era, and all the world wondered after the beast. And then he set back up. He started back to deceive the nations again. All right, and he started ruling over the planet Earth. All this was according to prophecy. Okay, so look, check it out. So let me see where I'm gonna go first. So I brought out that. Let me see. Okay. Okay, I brought out that when Jake started to enter into the Roman Empire is when the Roman Empire started to really decline. All right. And after the Roman Empire completely went down, that's when you had the rise of what they call the Dark Ages, or another word for they put on the Dark Ages is the Middle Ages. If you ever hear somebody say the Middle Ages, they're talking about the Dark Ages. The same, that's a word you could swap out there. All right, so check it out. I typed in right here, list of Roman emperors. Okay, now the point where Jake started to enter into the Roman emperors was during the time of 193 to 235 AD. It says year of the 5 emperors in the Severian dynasty. The Severian dynasty was basically all Jakes. All right, a lot of Jakes that came from northern Africa. All right, which we know that we're not the Africans, but over there in northern Africa, let me grab this real quick. Let me show you something real quick. When you go over to Alexandria, Egypt. Let me type in Israelites too. Israelites. All right. Well, let me just look up Alexandria, Egypt real quick first. What the hell is going on? Is it mine? All right, I'm good. My computer's kind of freezing. That shit's weird. But look, when you check out damn, what the fuck? Okay, yeah. Let me see let me type it on the map. All right, when you look at a map on Alexandria, Egypt, right there. All right, this one's pretty good right here. Now, this Alexandria, Egypt, that's where a lot of them Roman emperors that was Jakes from the Severian dynasty came out of. They came out of northern Africa, which was Alexandria, Egypt. And that place, Alexandria, Egypt, was known for having Israelites there. They were known for that. A lot of times where Jake would flee, they'd flee down to Africa. They'd go to Alexandria, Egypt. All right. Now, I had typed in Alexandria, Egypt. Let me see. Alexandria, Egypt in the Israelites. Now, it's a history of the Jews in Egypt right here. It goes to show you that the point being that there was Jakes. It was Jakes it was a lot of Jakes that was over there that will be out in northern Africa, and that's where a lot of these the year of the 5 emperors was majority of them was Jakes, and they came out of Severian dynasty, and this is when but this is when the Roman Empire started to decline. When you had Septimius Severus, Didymus Julianus, Septimius Severus' son, Carisalia, and then Septimius Severus' second son, Geta. Them was all Israelites right there. You know? Now, let me look up I looked up the year of the 5 emperors. All right, it says the year of the 5 emperors referred to the year of 193 AD, in which 5 claimants for the title of the Roman emperor were Partenix, Didymus Julianus, Persinius Niger. You hear about these men that brethren talked about. All right. It says Claudius Albinus and Septimius Severus. These 5 emperors was going at it to try to become the Roman emperor. And guess what? They was all Jakes. All right, and I got some further information to show you this. It says this year started the period of a civil war. They was all going at each other. I believe one of these guys killed another guy, and that guy killed this guy, but who ended up coming out victorious was Septimius Severus. It says the start of the period of civil war when multiple rulers vowed for the chance to become Caesar. Okay, now check this out right here. What I have, I found this page called this page right here, essay by Ekowa. Now this page right here shows you. It says the history of an African emperor. It wasn't literally Africans. It was Jakes. Lucius Septimius Severus, where Septimius Severus means the cutter of the 7. Basically, the decline of Esau's rulership, the cutter of the 7. The 7 heads and 10 horns, right? The 7 heads, the cutter of the 7. Basically, the Most High wounding this dragon by putting Jacob in there. Now, going back to this right here, look at Septimius Severus, the little image that they have of this guy right here. You know, all Jakes, and they even kind of refer to this actor dude right here, that's from over there in Africa, but that's an Israelite dude, man. You could tell that's not a Hamite. Now it tell you about. Let me go down a little further because I just want to get straight to the points. Now it says Albinus Africanus, right? Albinus was one of those five of those them 5 emperors was Albinus. All right. Let me go down a little bit. Let me see. All right. Now let me go back to that. Let me see. Persinius Niger. They referenced him to Wesley Snipes. You can read through this. I had something highlighted. Where the hell is it at? Where the hell does it go? Didymus Julianus. That was another one of those Romans, the 5. Didymus Julianus is right here. All right. These were all Jakes right here. Where was that? I had seen. Where was it at? Where was it at? I had it highlighted. I must have highlighted it. Let me see. Look at Morris fight. No. Let me see. The name of Severus no ancestor most thing. All right. Damn, where the hell did I have it, man? But basically, the point being that they was all Jakes, and that's what. Let me see. Was it right here? Quickly proclaim. No, that's not it. Where is it at? All right. Yeah, I had like on the first. Earth commence rain and preparing to stand from attacks. Salakia. Let me. All right, right here. It says Septimius Severus, the African emperor, had allies in Britain and Africa and parts of the so-called Middle East. One was named Albanius and the other Niger. Albanius was not from Albania or Albania. He was an African, and so was Pescennius Niger, who obviously he was obviously from Niger. All right, so the point being that these Jakes got in there during the time of the Severian dynasty. These different Jakes was in there. Septimius Severus, and then his son Caracalla Gata. These was the sons of Septimius Severus. All right, and that's where the start of the Roman Empire started to decline. At that very point. All right. So jumping back to Revelation 13 and 3, it says, and I saw one of his heads as it was wounded unto death, and his deadly wound was healed, and the world wondered after the beast. All right. So when Esau has got put in them caves, that's when he was wounded. But he came out of the caves, and you have to jump to Revelation the 20th chapter to understand this further. It says, Revelation 21 says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having a key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on a dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. That's how we know. Because when it says that old serpent, when you jump to Genesis 3 and 1, it's talking about this dude. It says, now that serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, have the Most High said, ye should not eat in every tree of the garden? That's that old serpent, which is that spirit that's in the so-called white man today. That's that same dude. Same God. And the dragon representing that the Roman Empire, which was ran by Edomites. That's how you know the old serpent was the spirit that's in Edom, because it referenced him as the dragon as well. And the dragon is the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire was ran by Edomites. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, the Romans, that old serpent, that spirit that goes all the way back to Genesis the 3rd chapter. It says, which is the devil, and that's why we call Esau the devil. The scripture verse, Revelation 20 and 2, called Esau the devil, the so-called white man. And Satan, that's why we call him Satan. And bound him 1,000 years. All right? He was in the caves for up to 1,000 years. And that goes back to Job 30 and 3, where Job prophesied that this devil will be he'll be in the caves. And this is the prophecy on it. It said Job 30 and 3. It says, for want and famine, they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former time desolate and waste. All right. The Edomites got pushed into the wilderness. It says, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for meats. All right. It says, and that's what made them survive, them eating the herbs of the field. You know? Carrots, and that's why Esau would eat a fucking steamed carrot, man. That shit's weird. just a steamed carrot on a plate. No salt, no nothing. You know? It says they were driven forth from among men. They cried after him as a thief. All right? To dwell in the caves and the cliffs of the valley and in the caves of the earth and the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed. You know? Under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. The Most High said he was going to raise the bases of men over the planet earth in the book of Daniel. It says they were more violent than the earth. It says, and now I am become their song, yea, and I am their byword. And that's exactly what the nation of Israel have became to the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white men. We became their song and their byword, man. And that was according to Deuteronomy 28 and 37, a curse that was going to be put on us for going off with the Most High. It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword amongst all the nations where the Lord shall lead thee. You see that? So we have become the dude who was pushing the caves to become a caveman. We became their bywords. We call niggers, wetbacks, tomahawks, everything of the sort, man. By this damn demon that was pushing to the caves. And the Most High bound his ass 1,000 years in them caves. Now, let me see real quick. Let me see. Now, when Jake started to get into the Roman emperors, and after that point, it was basically over. Majority of these guys was Jake's, all the way down until the Roman Empire ended. All right, let me see that picture. Where that other picture at? Right here. When the Roman Empire ended, basically that's when what they call the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages started. Okay. Now, when you read about the Dark Ages, it tell you exactly. It says, check this out. It says the Dark Ages is a historical periodization traditionally referring to the Middle Ages. So if somebody tell you that talking about the Middle Ages, you know that's talking about the Dark Ages, when Jakes ruled. In all that history, when Esau came out of the caves during the Renaissance era, the first thing he did was iconoclasm to all the images, all that and hid a lot of that information of showing that we ruled the Middle Ages. After the decline of the Roman Empire, we started ruling the Israelites, the southern kingdom, more perfectly. The Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. They started ruling Europe. You know? Rome and everything. It says the Dark Ages is a historical periodization tradition referring to the Middle Ages that asserts that a demographic, culture, and economic destruction occurred in West Europe following the decline of the Roman Empire. See? So the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages, they started to rule at the decline of the Roman Empire. And that was that beast who was wounded. All right? But it said his deadly wound was healed. He came out of the caves. He came out of the caves. All right? And he was healed. All right? But he got pushed in the caves. So, it was one more point in here. Let me see. All right. Let me jump down. It says in this paragraph down here, it says the concept thus came to characterize the entire Middle Ages as a time of intellectual darkness between the fall of Rome and the Renaissance. Between the fall of Rome, between the fall of Rome and the Renaissance, the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages, that's when Jake ruled. And when the Renaissance era occurred, that's when Jake got took down. And Esau, when I read in Revelation 20, Esau came back up because it was according to prophecy. Now, I typed in what took down the Dark Ages. Let me see. What is it? It's terminated. Let me see where I had it at. I typed in what took down the Dark Ages, and then I typed in Dark Ages, pneumonic and bubonic plague. It says people can get plagued when they are bitten by a flea that carries the bacteria from infected rodents. In a rare case, the people get the disease when handling an infected animal. It says plague lung infections is called pneumonic plague. In the Middle Ages in Europe, no. Where's that fucking information at? You fucker. What ended the Dark Ages? Basically, what ended the Dark Ages was the pneumonic and bubonic plague. All right. You know what? Going back on this, what it says on Google right here, it says plague lung infection called the pneumonic plague in the Middle Ages in Europe. Massive plague epidemic killed millions of people. That plague is basically what took down the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages, was the pneumonic and bubonic plague. It was also known as the Black Death. You know, which was a bacteria that what basically was a plague the Lord sent to take down Jake. All right. And when Jake got took down, guess who came up? Esau. You know, Esau came up. So jumping back to Revelations 20:3, it says, and cast him into a bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till that 1,000-year period should be fulfilled. And afterward, he must be loosed for a little season. And we're in that little season now. Ever since Esau came out of the caves in the Renaissance era, he been, like I said, he been deceiving the nations and ruling the planet Earth. And that was during the time of the Renaissance era. You know? Now, when you type in Renaissance era and when you straight on Google, it says the Renaissance was a fervent period of European culture, artistic, political, and economical rebirth. And it got in quotations rebirth because that's what Renaissance means. It says following the Middle Ages, right after the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages. Okay? Right after that went down, the Renaissance happened. That's because Esau, after that 1,000-year period, he got let loose for a little season. And the way that Most High took Jake down was put a plague on him. The pneumonic and bubonic plague. All right. It says this generally describes as taking place from the 14th century to the 17th century. The Renaissance prominent, you know what, that was it right there. So that's what happened with Revelations 20:3. You know? So jumping all the way back to let me see, where's this right here? Nice. Jumping all the way back to Revelations 3, it says, and I saw his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and the world wondered after the beast. So after Esau came out of the caves, after he was healed, he got everybody to start following him again. He set up America. He took down the Northern Kingdom. He set up shop. He brought the Negroes over here. He got the elite banking families got control over the world's resources. You know? And now everybody want to be like America. Everybody's wandering after the beast. All right? Which is that NATO and EU system, this philosophy and this way of this Edomite power structure, man. So that's what happened in history. This is all on point according to what Esau has jotted down in his fucking Google or Wikipedia and in his history. It's all on point. And what has really occurred. It says, and they worship the dragon which gave power onto the beast. They're following the ways of Esau Edom, which was which was the Romans, which run a NATO and EU. It says, and they worship the beast, saying, who is likened unto the beast and who is able to make war with him? And that's exactly what the pride of the Edomite white man has pushed on his people that he has created, man, or he has fucking deceived. And I have a video right here. Check this video out by Ronald Reagan. Listen to him. Damn, am I too loud? Yeah, I think I am. Listen to this guy though, man. You know? Let me turn it up. This is basically Revelations 13:4. Who can make war? Who is likened unto the beast? Who can make war with him? Listen to Ronald Reagan speak.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood.
So, you can finish the rest of the video. That's basically Revelation 13:4. That proud ass speech like Ronald Reagan just gave. Talking about they did this, they did that, and who could fuck with them, basically. All right? And that's exactly the minds of the people now that you see walking around in America. They have that same spirit on them. Who could mess with us? Who could beat America at war? Everything of the sort. So verse 5 says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemy. And that's exactly what they do, man. Over here in America, they shun the Most High. They'll talk crazy about the Most High, how he ain't real and this and that. The Big Bang Theory was what really created the heavens and the earth. There was no God. Put up the picture of Caesar Borgia, the white image of Christ. You know what I mean? And basically just shun the Most High's people. The higher up elites know who the Most High people is, but they hide it. It says, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months, was represent 350 years. And we're entering into that. That time is basically up. Esau been ruling since his ass been established since the fucking Renaissance era. 1776 is when America was established when it broke off from Great Britain. Now we're entering that time of that end of his little 40 and 2 months. It says, and he opened his mouth and blasphemed against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And that's exactly what he did with his images, man. All right. Let me go to Renaissance Bible art. And let me go to images. All you got to do is look at that. This is all you... Look at that. You don't see no Jakes. Look, that's the Lord's son. That's all Edomites, man. You don't see no Jakes in this. And then there's a certain picture. The Apostle Tahar brought it out. I believe it's one of these pictures where basically they're stumping a black dude down. Ah, man, I wish I knew where it's at. It's in one of those big old like art museums. Man, I wish I would know where that at. It's one of them pictures where it shows like he's all the heavens, he's all Edomites, and at the bottom he's kicking a black man into like hell. Let me see if I type in. Let me see. Damn, I wish I knew what that was called, man. The Apostle Tahar showed it so long ago, though, I wouldn't be able to even to remember it. Man, I believe it was the famous painting of the Western art, Leonardo. Is this it? Man, I wouldn't know where is it at, man. But it's a crucial picture. I'm like, damn. You know? But basically, jumping back to yeah, that's a good one right there, bro. Let me grab that. First Maccabees 3:48. And lay open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of his images. That's a precept right there in First Maccabees 3:48. And that matches Revelations 13:6. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against the Most High, and blasphemed his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in the heavens. You know? He painted his own ways. And it says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And the power was given unto him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And that's exactly, the saints is us, Israelites. He destroyed us. You know? He has overcame us. We're defeated under his hand. Because the Most High prophesied that we was going to go and be subjected onto Esau, man. We're going to serve our enemies. You know? In the land of our captivity. And this fit the Negro, Latino, Native American man. This ain't fitting nobody else. Out of all the nations on the planet Earth, the Negro, Latino, Native American man is still the one under bondage of the Edomites to this very day. We're under their rulership. You know? It's weird how people ignore them facts. Especially the Southern Kingdom. That's even more blatant, is dealing with the Southern Kingdom. They're clearly in slavery still. You know? No land. No land, no nothing. It says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name were not written in the book of the Lamb that was slain from the foundation of the world. And that's, if you ain't written in the book to receive salvation, the Lamb being Yahushua, all Jake gonna follow after this beast. That's what they do. All right? Israelites are following after the Edomite white man at an all-time high. Because they're not written in the book of life. It said they was going to follow this dude. It says, he that have an ear, let him hear. He that leaveth into captivity shall go into captivity. And that's how we know Esau, he's done. He's going into slavery for what he did. And all the prophecy of Revelation 13 chapter before verse 9 explains why. What he did, how he blasphemed the Most High, how he took down the Most High's saints. You know, it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So there is a payback coming to Esau for what he did to the Israelites. That's of an assurity. And the prophecy of how it played out makes perfect sense. This all makes perfect sense right here. So we ain't just, you know, when you bring out Revelation 13, 9, and 10, when you get the history backdrop from Revelation 13 and 1 on down, it makes perfect sense. And it only fits the Negro, Latino, Native American man. This is what has happened onto them. You know? By the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white men. This fits us. You know, so I pretty much tagged everything. I'm going to stop right there. And then if the spirit permitted, I'll go down to 11 on down to 18. But yeah, man, I pretty much tagged everything right there, man. I want to say shalom to everybody on the board. I hope you was edified, man. I tried to explain to my best ability. So with that, I'm going to close out. Say, Brak Tehal, Brak Thou Shai. Shalom, Akim Step. Shalom.